Alright guys, good morning. I apologize for the delay. I've been working on my Nomad build and I'm finally ready to show you what I've come up with now. I want to start this video by saying that Nomad is by far the most versatile build going in the game. You can build this with high electronics, you can build this with high firearms, you can build this with high stamina and be a royal pain in the ass in the dark zone because you're damn near unkillable. However, I've decided to do it this way, and I've experimented with it. I think there's several good ways to do this. You know, often in my videos I'll say this is the right way to do this build. With Nomad, guys, there really isn't a right way. It's whatever works for you. I've done this with 5,000 firearms, 5,000 stamina, 5,000 electronics. Works fantastic. I've done it with 9,300 firearms. Works fantastic in both PvE and PvP. I have done this with 9,000 stamina. Works great. You don't kill too much, but you can really be tanky and have some fun with it. Especially if you're running solo, it's just going to take you longer to put NPCs down. You may or may not be able to put players down with 9,000 stamina because you're not doing a lot of damage. However, and the electronics is great too. This build, guys, is versatile. The healing is unbelievable. You go into every battle with overheal, as you see here right now. And one of the best things about this build, especially for the Dark Zone, for the most rewarding events, are the contaminated events. If built, in fact, it doesn't matter how you build it, the Nomad heal is fast enough that it counteracts the damage you're taking in a contaminated event. So you don't really need an immunizer box anymore or a healing box. I happen to have one on just because I was running around the Dark Zone last night, but the talents themselves honestly don't really matter. I definitely would not use overheal. There's no point. You're always overhealing. But a couple of things we're going to talk about. So let's get into it right away. As you can see here, I've got 82,500 firearms, almost 5,000 stamina, and pretty low electronics. Yeah, I'm not healing with my build, but here's the thing. With Nomad, you're healing all the time. You don't need to pop heals. And if you want to heal yourself, just kill an NPC. So let's get into this, shall we? So I've got my chest piece. It's rolled for enemy armor damage with health and ammo capacity simply because, again, this is not a skill build. So I'm looking for ultimate damage on NPCs. And I haven't optimized this, guys, as you can see. Almost max rolled on stamina, though. And I have a firearms mod crit chance right across the board. Go on to my mask, crit chance, again, I haven't optimized this obviously. Rolled for firearms this time, and a stamina mod with crit chance. I really want to stack a lot of crit because the faster I can put NPCs down, the more I can heal myself. I have not been enjoying the PvP that much, and I've always been a big PvP player, but I have said this many times, this update has been the absolute best so far since the launch of this game for PvE. Go on to my knee pads, and I'm doing it always the same way now. Basically, the chest piece is the only thing you're going to have health on. Knee pads and backpack, you're going to have crit damage. Mask and holster, you're going to have most likely crit chance. You do not need health. So I have it roll for crit chance. Obviously, I probably have a better set of knee pads. I haven't even really looked, to be honest. Whatever, doesn't matter. I have just been playing around with this now. And again, I have a 266 stamina mod with crit chance. First aid self heals all around because my heal is so weak when I do need to pop it, and that's not very often. I want it to work a little bit better anyway. Holster, same thing. First aid self heal. My gloves are rolled for SMG because I'm using the house, which is absolutely the best weapon in the game, hands down. Don't care what anybody says. Even with shitty talents, it's the best gun in the game. I probably have better gloves somewhere with higher armor. I haven't optimized this, but again, I don't care. I'm just playing around with this, guys. You don't need to spend your time optimizing. And here's a quick note about optimizing, guys. If you're like me and you have, 650 million credits with nothing to spend them on, you are far, far better to continue to re-roll gear until you get it as close to max as possible, rather than spending your div tech to optimize the items. And I'll tell you why. Regular credits are easy to come by. Div tech is a lot of work to come by. You really have to grind. I know they put div tech in the Westside Pier area, however, The fastest way to get div tech, if anyone's curious, is in the dark zone extracting gold and green caches. Gold caches can give you up to 5 div tech, and green caches can give you up to, I believe, 8, although I've only gotten 7 at the most. Go onto my backpack here, and again, this one's rolled to health only because I didn't have one that I could roll and I needed the ammo capacity. Kind of screwed this one up. When I get another backpack, I will definitely roll crit damage on it. But my stats, as you'll see, are pretty good. And again, a stamina mod 267 with crit chance. I got that in the dark zone last night. It was kind of nice. And first aid self-heal mods. Move on to my weapons. Now, my house obviously isn't perfect. In fact, I'm using the wrong house here. I didn't even change it over. I have one with hurried on it, which I normally would use. So I'm going to change that after this video. I'll change it right now. In fact, let's talk about how we mod our house. So again, I've said many times, with SMGs, you want to spec into crit damage, not crit chance. Okay? You've already got crit chance embedded into the weapon. This is, in my opinion, the best small grip you can get. Stability and reload speed with crit damage. There is nothing better on any weapon. Let's see, where did I have? Interesting. Alright, so, and this is a point here. You'll notice that the second stat is crit damage, not crit chance. If I put one, let's see if I have one here. You'll notice if I put one with crit chance, it'll probably raise my DPS. Maybe not. But regardless, you want to spec into crit damage, guys, not crit chance. Oops. Let's go on to my scope. Okay. The trifecta on the muzzle and the scope, guys. Crit damage, crit chance, headshot damage. So there we go. Let's save that real quick, since I forgot to do it. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm critting like crazy, so hurried actually comes into effect. Now, if I had my way, I would have deadly and unforgiving, or deadly and vicious with the house, if at all possible. But there are lots of good combinations, and I told my buddy yesterday, even if you have a house that only, activates one talent, it's still not a big deal because the rate of fire is so great. My LVOAC is my backup. This has been optimized, responsive, deadly, and determined. I use determined because I have no skill power. This can help me bring my ult back very quickly. And don't forget, guys, to use drinking a soda to reduce your cooldowns. So let's go into my character sheet. As you'll see here, I'm doing pretty good damage here, almost 23,500, 47% crit chance, and that's fantastic because I'm not pulsing, but I can if I want to. I'll get about another 8.5% crit chance and crit damage out of it. The crit damage would be 133% or 130% if I had crit damage on my backpack, which it is with my Striker and my Predator's builds. But again, 123 is certainly respectable. The main idea here when you're PvEing is you want to put down enemies as fast as possible so you're constantly healing. Now you can ignore that reload time because it's actually going to be 1 second because of hurry, which is really an underutilized talent and is actually pretty nice. We're going to combats here as 25% health on kill. Now if you really want to be tanky, use a weapon with predatory on it. You're getting 50-55% health on kill. Yes, it's overtime with predatory, but you're healing a huge amount. Okay, guys? Just a huge amount. Skill power, who cares? 0 skill haste. I have 286,000 health, which is on the low side. However, I only have 5,000 stamina. But when I'm getting 25 to 50% of that back, even 25% if I don't use predatory, I'm still getting a boatload of health back every time I put down an NPC. And I try to finish them off with my LVOA so that I'm proccing, determined, getting my talents back as fast as possible. Do I care about my 2 talents, my healing in that? Not really, but what I want to focus on is getting my ult back as fast as possible. Whether it's Tactical Link, Survivor Link, or Recovery Link, doesn't really matter. Use what you need to do. If you're running solo, obviously, you can run Recovery Link, but remember that Nomad, if we go back to the talent tree here, the 6-piece Nomad is giving you a 50% chance of having Path of Nomad and taking 60% less damage for 10 seconds, you can proc the talent of the Nomad, the path of the Nomad, over and over again. I've seen it go as many as 5 times. So when you go down to 0 and you're about to die, path of the Nomad 6-piece kicks in, you go right back to full health again. Like I said, happens quite a bit. Now let's talk about the talents. And I apologize to all my viewers because I was unaware that they had changed adrenaline. That's my fault. I didn't understand why everyone was screaming adrenaline, adrenaline, adrenaline. For PvP and even PvE, honestly, this is now a must-have talent. Using a med kit gives you immunity from all status effects, and yes, it does counter Predator's Mark bleed. So this is a great counter to Predator's Mark. I didn't know they did this. I don't know if it was in the patch notes. I missed it. So my apologies to everyone. That being said, Predator's Mark will still kill you if the guy continues to shoot at you. You really need to be quick and put him down as well, which is, again, why I'm using a high firearms Nomad build as opposed to a high stamina build. But I've said this many times, there's no wrong way to do Nomad. There's a right way to do Predator, there's a right way to do Strikers, there's a right way to do a lot of builds to utilize the 6-piece talent. With this build, it's very versatile. You can build it however you want. 5,000, 5,000, and 5,000 is a great build. Very well-rounded, all-around survivability. Activates all talents on pretty much any weapon if you build it that way. I've chose to build it this way just because I want to put my opponents down or my NPCs down as fast as possible. So my other talent, obviously, critical save, strike back, again, reducing my cooldowns, and on the move. So right now, and I've always said on the move was a mandatory talent for any build, I'm now going to add adrenaline. So adrenaline and on the move, in my opinion, are mandatory talents on any build. When I do my Predator build now, and I have added this to Predator, I get rid of critical save, honestly, and use a shrapnel, or I'll get rid of strike back. Either or. In fact, I'd probably get rid of strike back and keep critical save, but shrapnel is mandatory for Predator. So anyway, guys, that's my Nomad build. I hope you enjoyed it. You'll see it hits pretty hard. You know, I'm critting quite high. You'll see how fast the reload speed is with Hurried. Because of those crit hits. And yeah, I know my potato aim. I'm having controller issues. If you've been watching my streams, I've broken one of my controllers. I'm using an old controller and it seems to be very loosey-goosey. So that's part of it, but I'm not making excuses. It is what it is. My aim's not great. What can I say? Anyway, guys, that's my Nomad build for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Build it however you want. Build a couple of them because really they're versatile. But I will say you really, really, really should have a Nomad build for when you're in the dark zone, specifically for contaminated events, because they are the most rewarding. You're getting GE credits, you're getting a chance for exotics, you're getting a chance for classified pieces. There's no better way. If a contaminated event happens, and I normally clear 5, 6, and 7, that's 8 bosses. That's like 1,200 GE credits right now, and 8 chances to get a classified or an exotic in the dark zone. So with this build, you can survive the damage from the contaminated event without using any kind of recovery station at all. So you can choose whatever talents you like. Really a great build for farming, really a great build for PvP, really a great build for just about anything you want to do. Very versatile, one of the strongest builds in the game. Go ahead, get your 6-piece and give it a try. Until then, guys, have a great day. Jinx Canada, out of here.